There's something that's kind of reassuring on just having the thing that you're aiming for and then sticking to it. This hole here represents about 9 hours worth of work. It's going to go 3 meters down. It's 2 meters across. Everybody's laughing at me that I've chosen a drought year to do this in. The clay is going to be really hard. This is massively hard, this yellow stuff. It just basically breaks up into little rocks. Splatters up into my face. I dream of the final work having a root wall. So one wall would be exposed at least. And so you can see the roots of the grasses growing down. And that would give you a better understanding of what's going on underneath the ground. If you can see here that the roots aren't very deep on the grass here. I haven't had one person tell me I was a fucking idiot for doing this. Except myself, maybe. Everybody understands. Like, everybody has a kind of gut instinct. You know? The first time I did this, I got all these comments on the blog. People telling stories of when they were kids just going out into the backyard and digging a hole for fun. Until Dad went out and tripped into it and, gave him a walloping. I wonder how, so if this is 2 square meters, we should calculate this. How big of a hole would it be if we had 7.5 billion people dig a 2 square meter hole? All of us have this energy, and look what we've done with it. We've basically taken it to the point where we're pretty much destroying the earth. This indomitable will. Have to read Schopenhauer after this. It's not that we all have, such a great capacity for industry. It's that we're so bloody clever at it. We can make machines that'll do this a lot quicker. This is an active discovery. Every time you hit the earth, you uncover something you hadn't seen before. You notice every change in color. You hit a rock and it's a color that you hadn't seen before, and you're wondering what kind of color that is. And it always changes. It's lonely. It's solitary. I don't know if it's lonely, but it's solitary. Maybe it's lonely. I'm back in the hole. I've been here about 5 or 6 days. It's November 1st, so I had to come back because the first time we came out, I got sick in the middle of it, and I had to stop digging. So 6 days I've been here. We've gone from about 300 mil to 1.7 meters. So I'm over halfway in. It's been hard digging, but it's gone well enough. The best way to get through a shift is to not think about time. That's a really good one. It slows down when you do that. You know, and not to try to measure. Like, I usually don't measure how far down I've gotten because it's disappointing. It's always disappointing. You always think, oh yeah, I just knocked out 30 centimeters there, and it's 5 or 10, and you're just like heartbroken. It's 160, so I'm halfway, just over.
How much longer is there to go?
Another 140. Another 1 meter 40. So I have to do this again, basically. It's weird, you know, like I just crawled out of there and I'm exhausted and I don't want to go back in, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's nice when it gets deep like this, when it starts to get deep, and you're just in this your own little world. Like all the sound changes, and yeah, it just becomes a much more sort of peaceful place. So one of the clever things I did was I nearly doubled the size of the hole. I didn't realize it. I thought, oh, I'll make it a little bit bigger. The original hole was, the one I did out in Hill End, was 1.5 meters, and I thought, oh, I'll do 2 square meters. 1.5 by 1.5 is 2.25 square meters, and 2 meters squared is 4 square meters. So I nearly doubled it, which makes it a much bigger project. I'm sort of making up for that by wetting the clay. You just dump, you know, water into the hole the night before, and then you've got 10 centimeters of soft clay to get through before it gets hard again. Now it's still, you know, it's still a pain in the ass. It's still digging, and then the clay is very, very heavy when you're trying to get it out. So it's, you know, it's been a little bit slower than I would have liked. It is very possible. I've got, I think, another 5 days, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to get, you know, halfway through in, you know, another, in that time. So it's very likely I'll have to come back. We did workshops on the first residency, and that was amazing because we had school kids come through. The kids got it, like they all absolutely got it. I'm digging a hole. That's what I'm doing. Who here's dug a hole? I grew up digging. That's not why I'm digging this hole, though. I'm digging this hole as an artwork. Our project is around trying to get artists, farmers, and scientists to talk to each other and to think about the earth. Think about, you know, basically the ground we walk on, the ground that our houses stand on, the ground that grows all of our food. It grows all the trees that basically produce the climate that we're able to live in. And so as an artist, I thought I'd make a work that would maybe, you know, give people an opportunity to think about the earth in a way they don't normally get to. So I'm going to dig this hole 3 meters down. So it'll be well above my head. I guess I could have tried to, you know, get a tractor in and a digger and just dug it out, but I really like doing it by hand. And it also relates to the fellas 100 years ago that were all over these places. You have huge mine shafts out there, and they all dug them by hand, like I am. This is a very small hole compared to what they used to do. And you know, it just makes me think about what life was like back then, you know, before we had big machines to do all the heavy lifting for us. And the other thing is that when you hand make a thing, it's often much more beautiful. You know, it's not as precise, it's a little bit wonky. And then you'll get these beautiful walls that go down, and then you also get these different layers of color. So there was a fire somewhere, or like a tree trunk maybe, it burnt down, and it's left a layer here, and you can see where there's just one straight crack across there. So you get to see all these really quite amazing things if you go down into the earth and you have a look at it. Everybody knows what hard work is, and I don't think anybody can deny me. So even people that are skeptical about whether or not this is art, they have to fucking kind of shrug their shoulders and go, well, you know, he may be an idiot, but, you know, he's not lazy. And for me, that's, you know, like, that's kind of important. You know, just simply by doing something that is hard work, you can actually kind of impress people and go, you know, make them look at it. Hard work, Alex? It is hard work. I don't know why I fucking do it. I hate hard work. It's funny, I say I hate hard work, but there's always a pleasure in it. It's not the plain pleasure we would associate with pleasure. You know, there's something really focused about it. Like just being able to exhaust yourself it's a really great feeling. Like, you know, after you get to lie down or have a beer, it feels really good. That beer is really, really good beer. I drove past that coal mine on the way through. That's an amazing fucking structure. They're building a whole new part of it. It looks like a crash landing site or something. You know, it's just all sorts of bits and pieces all over the place. Got another pit of the country. As an artwork, it's really quite, you know, it's like a symmetrical landscape, you know, and it's a very sort of modernist sort of thing, very kind of futurist, you know, very brutal and sort of testament to man's ability to impose his will on things. And, you know, it fucking sucks. I love being down here. It's just amazing. It's peaceful and it's cool. It's quiet and you're on your own. I just feel like the world is sort of up there burning. I've been here completely oblivious of it, at least for 8 hours a day, digging my way through it. I just dig and then I sleep and then I dig and then I sleep, and occasionally I'll get invited out somewhere or go somewhere. The world seems to be going to hell in a handbasket, and I bring that down when I think about it. You know, it's not exactly what I wanted to be thinking about, but it is what I'm thinking about. I've had very little time to be able to actually do any of the sort of writing that I normally do, where I write about what I think about when I'm in the hole, and that becomes a part of the work. But I have been collecting thoughts and stuff like that. I feel a little bit like I'm in an ocean. Like, if you think about it, like this dirt just goes on forever. Around the world, and it goes down, far deeper than any ocean. And you feel like you're surrounded by it, and it gives you this, for me anyways, it gives me an experience of exactly how huge the earth is and how important it is.
Wow! Tinawan!
Alex has come up and done this very labour-intensive process of digging a very deep hole with a spade to get connected to the earth and think about soil. And then he decided, as a performance, to jump in that hole, and he jumped in yesterday morning, and he's trying to be a portal to the earth for us. I'd like to bring up a few volunteers. Our wonderful volunteers here have paper, pens, and they're just going to wander around. And please wave at them and let them know that you have a question. And what we'll do is put it in our special letterbox to deliver it to Alex this evening. We've got a stack of questions and we're just going to deliver them to Alex and he can ponder them overnight and they'll inform his performance in the morning. Hey Alex.
Hey buddy. How you doing?
I've got a stack of questions.
Got questions for you. Wow, it's so deep.
Yeah, I know, since we were here. That ladder's pretty wobbly.
It's very wonky. Wow. This is what it looks like up here. All right.
There we go.
Thank you very much. I've done very little but sleep in here.
Wow.
It's so peaceful in this place.
Same
It's so beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Should do it more often.
Yeah. I should dig one in my backyard and just go down there every now and again.
Alright.
Yep.
Is there anything else you need for your last night?
No, I'll see you at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Alright, we'll see you at 7.
Good night.
Well, it's the right size. It's like those Japanese.
Here's one from obviously a small child. Do all humanity need to become extinct to save the Earth? Do you think we can find someone to pin them up?
Are they gone?
Thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing me your questions. Who here understands the Earth? If you would ask a question of the Earth, who amongst you can understand its answer? Let me ask you the same question in a different way. Who stands under the Earth? Ah, the answer comes too quickly. Is it even a question if the answer arrives as soon as it is asked? A question occupies time, drawing you towards the horizon, and is only as good as the length of time between its asking and its answer. Why then would you throw your question into a hole in the ground as though you would be done with it? Be patient with me. I will give you your answer in time. I understand why you have come to me. Everything you do has me underneath it. I give you your life, and I take your dead. I am the relative of stars. Believe me when I say that I understand you. You have come to me like lost children. Anxiously, you want to know what will become of you. You already know. The same thing as always happens. You are scared and confused. You have unleashed forces you cannot control, forces that rage in your own breast. I earnestly want to give you an answer, but I can only give it to you in time. You are the strangest children I have ever produced. What an adventure you have had. What brilliant, clever, terrible creatures you are. Your excessive pride is almost justified. Look at how much you have learned with your science, how you have multiplied, how you have taken every form and mastered every material. You have the destructive prodigality of the nature that you are. I am proud of you. Your intelligence unfolded with such force, like a crystal forming violently until it looked like you would pierce the sky. Perhaps you will yet, who knows? The thought makes me tired. You were born to seek horizons, and so it comes as no surprise that you would launch yourselves even at mine. And so, when you return to me and give me your question, you see, when you want to know its answer, when you want to know, you want me to take your question from you, to relieve you of its demand, of its drive towards the horizon, that is still the same motion. If I could, I would give you the consciousness of a star. After all, I am a mother. I love my children unreasonably. I would give you the perspective that sees all of time, If you could witness the mountains rise out of the crust of my body and wear back into it, perhaps you would feel less anxious. Perhaps the storms that churn your oceans would quell, and the winds that drive you towards the stars would slacken. Is this not a beautiful dream? Knowledge is useful, but we know it is not useful for that. Is this not the air that all your knowledge is founded on? That it will give you peace? That it will make you feel safe? Imagine wanting to know your future. What a thing to desire. Is that not why you live your life? For me, there is no difference between wanting to know the future and wanting to live. You see what circles your questions tie me into. Ultimately, I am talking to myself. Take your questions. I return them to you as the only gift I can give you now. You have a horizon that calls you to it. I will answer them there.